combining sports, music, and passion. This is Fly Sports Talk with your host, Nelson Navarro.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's me, your host, Nelson Navarro, and welcome back to Fly Sports Talk. This is episode 4, and we have a jam-packed show for you guys. First of all, let's get into the fit. On my head, I have a Houston Astros Hat Club exclusive, pink bottom, 2005 World Series patch. For my hoodie, I have the Kith collection, the Batman collection. Right? This is fire. And then on my feet, I have the Jordan 3 Laser Orange 3s. These actually just come in women's sizes. So, fellas, if you were looking to grab a pair of these, you actually would have to see what your size is in women's and then go from there. Okay? So, again, this was 2005 World Series. In this World Series, the Houston Astros was actually a part of the National League in 2005. They didn't cross over into the American League, I think it was until 2013. But if anybody can tell me the American League team that the Houston Astros played in this 2005 World Series, I will personally give you a piece from our good friends at Replay Threads. When it comes to vintage clothing, they have the game hands down in a chokehold. When it comes to hoodies, hats, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, NFL, NBA, MLB, MLS, world soccer, whatever you guys could think of, they have it. So again, if anybody can tell me what team they played in this World Series, I will personally give you a piece of your choice from Replay Threads. And again, that's also, you guys can follow them on Instagram. That's replay.threads on Instagram. I'm going to have the description. I'm going to have their name in the description so you guys can go and check them out and see their lineup. Again, they have a lot of good stuff. I saw a Lakers, I think it was a Lakers track jacket they had the other day that they posted. But they have a lot of good stuff on there. So give them a shout. And check them out on Instagram. Again, that's replay.threads on Instagram. So now let's get into the show. So half of the Final Four has already been established, with Duke and Florida punching their tickets to Atlanta. Today, Houston takes on Tennessee in the early game at 2 p.m. and Michigan State takes on Auburn in the later game at 5 p.m. Now, speaking of Auburn, did anybody see Tahad Pettiford in that game against Michigan the other night? Pettiford came off the bench, scoring 20 points and leading the Auburn Tigers to a comeback victory over the Michigan Wolverines, punching their ticket to the Elite Eight. Now, today, the Auburn Tigers face legendary Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. I personally think, the momentum that the Tigers have right now, I don't think there's anybody that's going to beat them, including this Michigan State team. Now, when they get to the Final Four and have to play a better team than Michigan State, that's a different story. But as far as this game right now, I don't think the Michigan State Spartans have the ability to knock off the Auburn Tigers right now with the momentum that they have. Okay, I think it was Friday night. Friday night was the night that they played Michigan, and they were down. Michigan was playing a really good game. Auburn was down, and it seemed like that, you didn't know who or what was going to happen for Auburn to turn this game around. But then Pettiford comes onto the floor in the second half, and he goes off, being a menace all over the floor, creating turnovers for the other team, and just all around, being that type of gritty basketball player that this county, like this part of New Jersey, produces. And it's great. It's great to see student athletes from Hudson County go out there on the biggest stages like the NCAA tournament and just simply ball out. Again, he had 20 points off the bench, played 29 minutes of the game, and was clearly the X factor of that game against the Michigan Wolverines. I look for the Auburn Tigers to continue that momentum and to ride the wave, and to beat the Michigan State Spartans today at 5, starting at 5. And I also think they will cover the spread at 4.5. Now, going into the next game, well, the first game, I should say, Tennessee and Houston face off at 2 p.m. It's now 1:15. That's about 45 minutes. So, Houston is scoring 74.2 points a game, which is 11 more points than the Tennessee Volunteers actually allow in 62.9. Okay, the actual average for Houston is 74.2, and the average for that Tennessee gives up is 62.9, which is actually a difference of 11.3 points. So, with that being said, it's hard to see how the Tennessee Volunteers are going to beat the Houston Cougars. Now, Houston has been one of the best teams in college basketball all year long, and at one point, so was Tennessee. Tennessee was a good, I think they were ranked number 1 in the nation at some point this year. Don't quote me on that. But I believe that they were at the top of college basketball at some point this season. Again, given that the averages that these two teams have and the way that the Houston Cougars have been playing all tournament, no matter who have they played, I think that Houston will cover the spread at 2.5 and go to the Final Four and meet somebody or whoever they will play in Atlanta. Look for the top performers for Houston to show out today. One in LJ Cryer, who's averaging 15.3 points per game and 2 rebounds, and the other one is Emmanuel Sharp, who's averaging 2 made threes per game in the tournament. So look for those guys to be a factor against the Volunteers today. Okay, and the two X factors for the Volunteers, the ones that need to step up, in my opinion, for them to actually give Houston a run for their money, is Chaz Lanier and Zakai Ziegler. Lanier is averaging 18 points, while Ziegler is averaging 14.8 points. The Volunteers are gonna need those two guys to step up and really play a phenomenal game against Houston if they think they are going to if they think they're going to beat them. Now, let's get it switched over to baseball. Baseball is finally here, and the on-field swag is through the roof. Let me tell you guys, the on-field swag for baseball, I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this one, but right now it seems to me that baseball swag, especially when it comes to in-game swag, like on-field or on-court or as far as whatever you can wear, baseball is it, hands down. Obviously, of course, they have their uniform that they have to wear, but when it comes to the cleats that they wear, the protection gear that they use, the sliding mitts that they use, all that stuff is now, especially this year, with the sliding mitts and the shin guard and the foot guard and all that, and the elbow guard, all that stuff is now starting to be customized. So Jazz Chisholm had a custom one-piece sliding mitt, elbow pad, and a shin guard, which I thought was fire. And it was custom to Luffy's outfit. Whoever watches anime, it was custom to Luffy's outfit in the Egghead arc. So, which I thought that was pretty fire. Also, too, the cleats. Mookie Betts. Let me just say this. Mookie Betts and the Dodgers played against the Detroit Tigers, sweeping the series. And the Dodgers look exactly like the team that just won the World Series. Outscoring their opponents 32-16 over their first 5 games. 2 against Chicago and 3 against Detroit. I don't think to start the season they're starting off exactly where they left off last year. after winning the World Series. So, but let me just say this. Mookie Betts. I think Mookie Betts would give Jalen Hurts a run for his money when it comes to the custom cleat game, because Thursday night and opening day in LA, Mookie Betts had a pair of the Nike Bike Air Jordan 4s, custom. And let me just tell you, they were fire. Now, the Nike Bike Airs, for those who don't know, are a custom sneaker. Not a custom sneaker. Were a sneaker that Nigel created. And he put them out. And I think they came out last week or 2 weeks ago. They dropped on a raffle. And it was probably one of the hands down, one of the best sneakers that will drop this year. And coincidentally, it's a Jordan 4, which is, in my opinion, the best Jordan in the collection. But yeah, Mookie Betts had a pair of those on for opening day, which was absolutely fire. Again, the Dodgers swept the Detroit Tigers in this series. And the next day, the next game, I believe, Mookie Betts had on a pair of the Columbia 11s, the all-white icy bottom 11s, which was also pretty fire. And there were 3 other players that also wore them that same day. Aaron Judge, Jazz Chisholm wore them that day, and also Manny Machado. Manny Machado also wore them while wearing their San Diego Padres custom City Edition uniforms. And I might be the minority on this when it comes to these uniforms, but I think the San Diego Padres City Edition uniforms are beautiful. They the hot, I think it's hot pink, and then they have like yellow and like a blue and like that mint green. Oh man, it complements, each color complements every other color when it comes to their uniform. And again, like I said, I might be the minority on this, but I feel like their uniform is probably one of their City Edition uniforms are probably one of the best ones, hands down, in the MLB. So remember a couple episodes ago, Yankee fans, when I told you not to worry and not to be so upset that you guys don't have Juan Soto and that he's now a New York Met. The Yankees won their first series, beating Milwaukee in the first game and also yesterday in the second game, and they are actually playing right now as we speak. But the Yankees yesterday put up 20 runs. Yes, 20 runs against the Milwaukee Brewers. Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs. I want to say Anthony Volpe hit 1, Wells hit 1, Jazz Chisholm hit 1, Paul Goldschmidt hit 1. The Yankees were just, I don't know what was going on. They probably had some of Michael's secret stuff before the game, and paused and went crazy. I don't know what was going on, but somebody pointed this out yesterday while I was watching the game, and and I went to Twitter to see exactly what people were talking about. So the Yankees had new bats made, right, that moved the more of the wood of the bat into the label, so the hardest part of the bat strikes the ball. And they coincidentally used these bats yesterday. Now, you break out these new bats and you just score 20 runs with these new bats. Can somebody say cheaters? No, I'm kidding. But seriously, how do they get these new bats and then just put up 20 runs out of nowhere? Like, it's just, I don't know. I think it was something that, and they look weird too. Like the bats, like they look like the barrel is like, remember when we were kids when we had those metal bats with the big barrel? That's kind of what they look like. They look like they have a bigger barrel than a normal bat, and it's like they're kind of like a little bit more skinnier. I don't know. I don't know what these bats are gonna do. I don't know what if maybe the MLB is gonna catch wind to this and say you guys can't use these bats. It's unfair. Nobody else has these bats but you guys. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what the MLB does with this, and I'm curious to see how long it takes for them to intervene when it comes to this. So, but like I said, the Yankees are 5-0 to start the season. They're playing the Milwaukee Brewers as we speak. And honestly, Yankee fans, you guys have nothing to worry about. I wouldn't even, if I was a Yankee fan at this moment in time, I wouldn't even care that we don't have Juan Soto anymore. Yeah, so again, it's over 150 games left in the season. So we'll see how things shape out and how things go. But the Mets, crossing over to the Queens, the Mets opened up against the Houston Astros and only took 1 out of 3 games. Now, the Mets have lost an opening day game, I think for the first time since the 1999-2000 World Series. Don't quote me on that. Matter of fact, let me look this up because I want to be absolutely correct. Yeah, like I said. So the Mets have lost back-to-back season openers for the first time since 1999 and 2000. So last year they lost their season opener, and this year they lost their season opener. And again, that was the first time since 1999 and 2000 that the Mets have lost their first opening series to start the season. So now Juan Soto had a chance to at least tie the game in the first game against Houston, but struck out in the 9th inning to lose the game. The very next game, he hit his first home run as a Met, and the Mets were able to win that game 3-1. Last night, they ultimately lost the last game last night by a score of 2-1. Which should have been a score of 2-0 because the Mets bats did absolutely nothing yesterday, aside from late in the game, I believe. Siri made a great play at home, stealing home. I guess you could say he stole home on a play. I think it was a routine ground ball to second, and they threw it to first, and then he went home and scored to bring the Mets to actually tie the game. For the Mets, and then I believe in the next half inning, the Houston Astros regained the lead and ultimately won by a score of 2-1. Now, I just mentioned there's over 150 games left in the season. This is not time at all to hit the panic button. Relax. We're 1-2. Yes, we lost the first series of the year, but there's a whole bunch of baseball left to be played. Now, if you want to, start pouting or whatever, just look at last season. Last season, the Mets in the beginning of the year were probably one of the worst teams in baseball. But as the season progressed and as things started happening, the Mets started getting better. The whole grimace thing, the whole oh my god thing with Jose Iglesias. I'm not saying that the same thing is gonna happen this year because who knows. But again, it's a long season. Calm down. We're gonna be all right. The pitching is going to get itself back together. And honestly, the pitching wasn't that bad if you really want to look at it. They lost by a score of 3-1 in the first game. The second game, they won 3-1. And last night, they lost by a score of 2-1. So I don't think there's anything to panic about. As of right now, being a Mets fan, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Pause. Now, I have a new segment that I just started because of this situation that's been going on. And the segment is called Bozo of the Week. Okay? So, this week's Bozo of the Week goes out to, and I think you probably know where I'm going with this one. It goes out to Stephen A. Smith. Now, just a little backstory. I'm pretty sure y'all also know about this. Recently, LeBron James approached Stephen A. Smith during a game and pretty much told him to keep his son out of the media, which is impossible. Your son's a professional athlete, but I digress. So he approached him during a game, and Stephen A. addressed it on First Take. Now, I guess that Stephen A. saw that he was getting completely clowned by everyone, that he felt the need to go onto his podcast and say, I quote, "Had LeBron touched me, I would have put hands on him." Now, Steven, what hands are you putting on him, bro? Where are these hands that you speak of that you said you were gonna put on him? Was it the hands that you showcased in that video with that weak ass uppercut? I hope not, because if it is, bro, you're not getting far. You're not. LeBron will whip your ass. I'm not even joking right now. Like, this is not even like staged. Like, I'm being 100% genuine. Like, this is hilarious. Like, I honestly can't believe that Stephen A would think that it would be. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. Like, Stephen A. Smith, bro, like, that was the dumbest thing you could have done, or the dumbest thing that you honestly could have said. Bro, LeBron is fucking 6'6", 240 pounds straight muscle. Steven, you're like 60 years old. Come on, bro. Let's come on, bro. And what makes it even worse is that after, he put his podcast out and was getting clowned even more, right? LeBron actually posted that video that I was just talking about of Stephen A. training, doing that little left hook, right uppercut bullshit that he was doing in that video. But, he, like I said, LeBron posted that video to clown him, and he, got back onto his podcast or whatever platform he did it on, and he apologized for what he had said. So, yeah, Bozo of the Week, Stephen A. Smith. Please just stop. Just drop this whole LeBron thing. Like, let's just, like, forget about it. Like, please just stop. Like, you're an NBA analyst. You're a great analyst at what you do. Okay? First Take is an amazing show. Just focus on that. Like, just let's leave all the extracurricular stuff to those who do that. It's not you, my boy. It's not you. So, now segueing over to the NFL. The NFL draft is less than a month away. What will your team do? Being that we are where we are in this area, of course I got to cover the midgets and the beloved Jets. So with the signing of Russell Wilson, Shedeur Sanders might not be a Giant after all. Now, the direction I do see them going, of course, the Giants, you do have to draft a quarterback at some point in this draft. But obviously, your first pick doesn't have to be a quarterback. Now, huge shout out to Grandpa Pop. I love you. I don't think they're going to get Jackson Dart. What I do think they're going to do is one of two things. And they're both on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're going to go after either the defensive tackle from Michigan in Mason Graham, or if you really want to make a splash and really want to create some drama in the draft, you go get Abdul Carter. Don't crucify me. I know he has a foot injury, but hear me out. Abdul Carter was the best defensive player hands down in college football last season at Penn State. Okay? Micah, I call him Micah 3.0 because to me, Micah Parsons 2.0 is Sam Williams on the Dallas Cowboys, who did not play last year due to an injury. But now, going back to Abdul Carter, I call Abdul Carter Micah 3.0. He's fast. He's agile off the edge. He can get to the quarterback very, very quickly. He can play off the ball on the edge, two stance, standing up, hand in the ground, however you want to play him. Pause. You can use Abdul Carter. Okay. Honestly, I think that the Giants have a number of things they can do when it comes to the third overall pick. I just don't think it's going to be a quarterback at that spot. If Jackson Dart does fall, Now, if you want to grab a quarterback that early in the second round, that would be okay to me. Again, I'm not a Giants fan. I really don't care what they do. I honestly hope that they botch this whole draft. But from an analyst standpoint, I feel like the Giants, if you do desperately want Jackson Dart, you can get him. And if he does fall, if he does fall to the second round, that would be your place to go grab him, in my opinion. But other than that, the Jets, I'm almost 110% sure that the Jets are going to draft an offensive lineman. And I'm hearing a lot about this kid, Will Campbell, the offensive tackle from LSU. With the signing of Justin Fields, like, it's almost imperative that you guys go offensive line this season and address that, because now last year your running game was ranked 31st in the league, which is the second worst, right? And only averaged 91.8 yards per game. With the running back core that you guys have, that should not be 90 yards per game should not be the most that you guys can come up with. Breece Hall, and I forgot the kid's name, but the kid that the rookie that they had last year, dude, those two backs are very, very capable backs with an offensive line that can open up holes for them. They will do damage. They will do damage for you. And again, we all know Justin Fields is Justin Fields. You know, he was on Chicago. He didn't really do that well. Chicago was trash for the years that he was there. But then when he went to Pittsburgh and started in place of Russell Wilson, he did a really good job. He did a really, really good job with that team. I think they were 5-0 before they lost their first game. Like, come on now. I mean, yes, Justin Fields has a lot of work to do and a lot of things to work on, but at the same time, Justin Fields is a very, very capable quarterback and can make the plays for you. It's proven. It's proven that he can. You know, obviously, he wasn't able to carry a team to a playoff berth, but he's in my opinion, he's a very good quarterback, and he's a very capable quarterback. And if you put the right pieces in front of him as far as the offensive line to give him the protection that he needs, I think Justin Fields will flourish in this system and in this offense. You have Garrett Wilson, right? So, you know, if the Jets can somehow pick up the kid from Penn State, the tight end, now we're cooking. If you want to wait to the second round to pick up a quality offensive lineman and go get the tight end from Penn State with your first pick, be my guest. Because that kid, he's versatile. He can play wide receiver. He can play on the outside. He can play the slot. He can play tight end. He can block. That kid, he's the ultimate Swiss Army knife when it comes to a big body receiver / tight end. So if the Jets wanted to do that, I'm game. I would actually be ecstatic for them. If you were allowed to have a second team, I think the Jets would be my second team. But, you know, in the fan sports world, you're not really allowed to have a second team. So Dallas is my one and only team. Okay. So let's talk about Travis Hunter a little bit. I want to talk about Travis Hunter because I think that Travis Hunter, when he does enter the league, he's going to be another Deion Sanders, if not better. And I say better because, now this is a hot take, I say better because the simple fact that he plays both sides of the ball. Okay? Deion also played both sides of the ball at one point in his career, but he wasn't doing it every single play. Also, Deion was the punt returner at one point. So, Travis Hunter, as we all know, plays both sides of the football, offense and defense, and pretty much besides special teams, he does not come off the field. Okay, and he honestly, if you watch his games, he gets upset that he gets upset that, you know, they take him out So with the second pick, I think the Browns are going to draft Travis Hunter, and they are going to use him on both sides of the football. I just hope and pray, knock on wood, that Travis Hunter can sustain playing both sides of the football in the NFL for a long period of time over the course of his career. But we're going to see what happens. Honestly, number one, I think Tennessee is definitely going to take Cam Ward at number one. And I honestly think that the Titans are gonna take Cam Ward at number one, and it'll be a great pick for them. It'll automatically make their offense that much better. They definitely still have some things they need to work on as far as the defensive side of the football is concerned, and on the offensive side of the football, I should say. But drafting Cam Ward is definitely a good step in the right direction. It looks like Ashton Jeanty is going to be drafted by the Raiders with the 6th pick. So I think the Cowboys are going to go get Ted McMillan at number 12. Now, if Ted McMillan is gone, I say trade back later into the first round and probably pick up Matthew Burden the third. But Ted McMillan is my pet cat, so to speak, in NFL terms, as far as who I want the Cowboys to pick up. Adding Ted McMillan at 4.4 speed would be great, alongside with CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert. But we're going to see what the Cowboys do as far as which direction that they go in. So it's a thing of, at that position in this draft at number 12, it's a thing of you have to look at everything. Like, you literally have to weigh out all of your options, because there's going to be a plethora of players that are going to be available for the Cowboys at the 12th pick. So we're going to see what they're going to do. I honestly don't know what is going to happen. So, guys, that has been my show. Let me just say this. Choose your friends wisely. Don't just be friends with anybody just trying to fit in. Be yourself, right? If you're going through some things mentally, go seek help, please, because things that of current events that happen over the weekend, personally, is just, not me personally, but to people that I know, family members, it's just wild. Thank God it didn't get to a place that it could have gone. Thank God there were the right people around in the situation to protect my family. So just seek help, people, please. Just please, just I'm trying to be the nicest. I'm trying to say this the nicest way possible without getting out of pocket on my show, because that's not what I want to do. So just please, people, just seek help. Do what you got to do. Stick within your circle. Choose your friends wisely. Okay. I don't even know what else to say. God bless y'all. Peace.